Happy weekend from Fextralife. If you've been too busy to keep up on the latest in the games we cover, or are looking for a refresher, we've got your back. Let's take a look at the comings and goings across the Fextralife Wiki Network. There's no new Dark Souls 3 news this week, but what's a week in Wiki's post without a Dark Souls countdown? There's only 23 days until the October 25th release date for Ashes of Ariandel, the first DLC for From Software's iconic game. In actual news, rumors abound that Destiny 2 is in development and is planned for a PC release. The game is rumored to be a whole new experience with new worlds to explore, and there are rumors that characters will not port over. We're all waiting with bated breath to hear what Bungie has in store for us. Bungie released a hotfix this week for Destiny that addressed some bugs with the Rise of Iron content. Some pesky bugs in Strikes, the public area Arkan's Forge, and items received some fixes in the minor patch. Nioh has seen an extensive amount of changes during its decade of development. From its beginnings as a companion game to a movie, to its recent evolution as an action RPG from Team Ninja of Ninja Gaiden fame, the game has seen many changes. Check out our past, present, and future piece on the blog for more on its history, as well as where it's heading for its release in February of 2017. XCOM 2 released this week on PS4 and Xbox One. The tactical strategy game, which released in February on PC, received a nomination for Game of the Year by the Golden Joystick Awards. Be sure to visit the wiki for everything you need to know about soldier classes, facilities, research and engineering projects, weapons, and more. There's a lot to learn in this game, and we can help. New players should start with the new player help page for big picture tips and tricks. Bethesda released a very minor patch this week to Fallout 4. The patch addresses some issues in the base game as well as several of the DLCs. Are you still playing through Nuka World? The DLC marked the final piece of content for the game. Check out our review if you want to see how the post-apocalyptic RPG finishes off. Update 12 and 1 Tamriel will be here soon for Elder Scrolls Online players. They will both bring sweeping changes to the game's core concepts and more. Skills, sets, dungeons, and more are getting significant revisions, all with the goal of making the content broadly accessible to players of all levels and alliances. With the recent release of the Gold Edition, which contains the base game and all released DLC to date, there's never been a better time for new players to get in. And if you're one of those new players, we have a great class guide on the blog right now, which helps demystify one of the first and biggest choices every player makes. Round 2 of the Kill the Server stress test for Gwent went down this week. Players were encouraged to flood the gates to test the game's online integrity. This second and final round featured some new decks in a scaled down version of the game's final form. Excited to get your hands on Gwent? There's a closed beta coming on October 25th, so be sure to head to their site and register. In a delightful bit of Q&A for TORMENT Tides of NUMENERA, developer In Exile Entertainment answered some fan questions about what the game will look like when it releases next year. Much of the discussion was centered around how they designed the game to accommodate player choice. Whether it's skills, companions, or quests, players will have an opportunity to experience the breadth of the game without feeling gated behind restrictive choices. The game is in early access on PC right now, so players can get to exploring this rich RPG that builds off of the Planescape Torment world setting. And speaking of early access, Divinity Original Sin 2 has been in that for over 2 weeks now. It was revealed this week that early access players can anticipate new content in the future, such as additional skill trees, a Game Master mode, changes to the character system, and more. We've been playing the early access extensively and have made significant additions to the Divinity Original Sin 2 wiki. Give that sexy skill chart a look. The Elder Scrolls Legends continues to captivate our attention as well. So much so that we've been streaming it this week as we test out our new Uber deck in online battle. Check out our video and companion article that details the Blue Marshal deck we've built. Disclaimer: if you lose while using it, it's likely an operator's error. Tyranny introduced a new companion this week, a title spellcaster named Ebb. She's a versatile party member who can provide offensive as well as crowd control support and can even handle some time on the front lines. Her backstory of pain and anger shines through in the abilities she makes use of. Their developer diary also went on to detail some of the abilities Ebb will make use of, and they run the gamut from elemental control to the more destructive draining tactics. Warhorse Studios happily revealed a publishing deal with Koch Media to publish Kingdom Come Deliverance, both in physical and digital format for consoles. Koch's Deep Silver label will handle the physical distribution of the PC version, with Warhorse handling all of the digital PC copies. This is great news for the hyper-real historical RPG that charts a seminal period of time for the Kingdom of Bohemia. No word on whether hype trains would be historically accurate inclusion. The PlayStation blog featured a piece on action RPG Vampire this week, and we were given some insights into how the game's skills and combat will work. The skill tree for protagonist Dr. Jonathan Reed will not be linear. Instead, players can mix and match skills to suit their playstyle. Players can focus on damage dealing, crowd control, or can opt to lurk in the shadows, avoiding combat, in a totally not creepy way. The choices made on which citizens to drink blood from will have dramatic impacts on the game's narrative. Blood is power, but drink too much in the early 20th century London will fall into chaos. We went hands-on with Ubisoft's upcoming competitive multiplayer game For Honor, and were impressed with how the game has fused Souls-like combat with large-scale online skirmishes. The game, which recently finished a closed alpha period, features team-based matches with AI armies that result in moments of epic tension. You can read our full thoughts and see some slick screenshots in our preview article. That's a wrap for the Week in Wikis. We're looking forward to another great week of gaming fun. Don't forget to check out our VIP program for some exclusive supporter benefits, and budding writers should take advantage of our Become an Author initiative. Thanks for a great week, and as always, keep checking in with us for news, reviews, YouTube streams and vids, and general wiki goodness. Don't forget to follow us on social media for all the latest and greatest as they happen. The more followers we get, the larger the army of the Fexes grows.